There's been a bunch of people in my community chat who've been specifically asking me to talk a little bit about the iPhone 14. Honestly, feel personally, I feel that the iPhone peaked around iPhone 6S and iPhone 7. Now, iPhone 7 was the first iPhone to advertise water resistance. So basically they were saying like, yeah, if you're a dumbass parent, you give this thing to your kid and they drop it in a toilet, that, the phone's not going to short out. iPhone 6S was a very good phone. It was very fast, high-speed processor, high-speed, Touch ID. And with iPhone 6S, I have to say, I mean, that was such a good phone that the iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 6S, there's a lot of people who still use that phone to this day. There are some people who just use a phone as a phone and they're not upgrading regularly, like they're not upgrading every single year. And some people, they refuse to upgrade specifically because the iPhone 6S had the headphone jack, but the iPhone 7 didn't. And I can understand in retrospect the reason why Apple got rid of the headphone jack. It was because first of all, they wanted to make, billions selling those EarPod headphones. And also it was because the more ports you get rid of, the more you increase the water resistance. And I've been very thankful for the water resistance specifically. When I was in Seychelles, I had iPhone 6 with me. I had an iPhone 6 Plus. And when I was at the beach, I accidentally, because it was beach water, got that phone wet. And that destroyed that phone almost instantaneously. The beach water is obviously salty, so you're dealing with water that's more conductive than toilet water. Toilet water doesn't have salt in it typically. So at the beach water not only will short your phone out quickly, but on top of that, it's corrosive. So that means that it actually starts eating away at the metal. Now, in Seychelles, I lost iPhone 6. I had to pay to have a brand new iPhone 6 refurb given to me. And I lost all the photos, all of the extra beach videos that I had. And I ended up having to use my backup phone, my iPhone 4S, in order to keep recording during that vacation. Now, when I was in Maldives, I had my iPhone 13 on me. And because iPhone 13 is water resistant, I was actually able to take it in the beach water with me. I was able to take it into the ocean. I did have a plastic bag that I put around it to protect it. It was like one of those Ziploc bags. Unfortunately, somehow the water got right into the bag, and I ended up having to let the phone dry off before I'd be able to charge it, which is something else I understood right away about the MagSafe charging, where you have the magnetic pad on the back. The magnetic charging bypasses the ports, so your phone will charge even if the ports are still wet. Now, they do have a feature that allows you to emergency charge your phone even if the port is wet, but that's supposedly not a good idea. They really recommend that you dry the ports before charging. So I really do appreciate the MagSafe technology. Other than having 4K 60 frame per second recording, which we've actually had for a while, if I'm not mistaken, the iPhone XS Max had 60 frame per second recording with 4K. Up until now, I've really just said, yeah, the iPhone's great and everything, but there really isn't really that much of a need to upgrade, specifically because if you have the XS, the 11, the 12, or even the 13, it's like for the most part, you've got a perfect camera, you got a perfect battery for the most part, you have really good, You have very good processor speed, so you can play games and this, that, and other without an issue. But right now, as you know, iPhone 14, they're saying that September 7th, they're going to make the announcement. My guess is by November, that'll be when the iPhone is ready for purchase, because I've heard that they've shifted manufacturing to India instead of China. since China's having so many problems economically right now. And, you still have issues over there in that part of the world with Russia and Ukraine. And then you've got America with its basically its threatening of China and their sovereignty as far as Taiwan goes. So the ultimate issue is iPhone 14 is on the way. You'll get the notification on September 7th. You'll be able to pre-order it after the event, which should be that day or the next day. And then you'll be able to pick the phone up in the store in November. The thing that I appreciate most about Apple is, unlike these other companies like NVIDIA and AMD that have been producing products that get snapped up by scalpers, Apple is very careful to make it so that there's a 2 iPhone limit per person. And they've pretty much limited scalping by forcing you to pre-order and by forcing you to actually show ID when you come pick the devices up. So they don't play games, and I really appreciate that about Apple. Everybody can learn from the way Apple does business. Some places don't want to do business the Apple way, but I think Apple has proven that it knows how to do business. It knows how to conduct a corporate business, and it knows how to handle profit too. So what were the rumors? Well, first of all, you can expect that the iPhone 14 is going to give you everything that the iPhone 13 did. So that means that you'll have a storage capacity that goes up to 1 terabyte. There's going to be an iPhone 14, and then there's going to be a 14 Pro model, which is larger for the people who want a larger phone. And they're saying that it's going to have a 120 hertz display that is always on, similar to the Apple Watch 6. Now, always on display is it's pretty cool, but I did notice the Apple Watch 6 battery life was questionable. It was like it felt to me like Apple Watch 6 had to be charged more than Apple Watch 2. Because, there's no way you can have an always on display without hurting the battery life. I mean, that just goes without saying. So they're saying that the iPhone 14 is supposed to have that. I'll definitely enjoy having that upgrade. They're also saying, my guess is the iPhone 14 is going to have the exact same body that the 13 has, unless they decide to change it. But up until I see it, I think it's going to have the same body. But for the most part, iPhone really hasn't changed that much since the 10s and the 11 and whatnot. They may put a new body on, but I'm not really worried about that. I was hoping that they would give us Touch ID so that this way, instead of having to worry about whether or not you have a mask on, that you'd be able to touch ID your way into the phone. I don't know if they'll have it. I wish they would, but I don't think they're going to have it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We're not going to know. They're asking about will there be SIM cards, saying iPhone 14, they're saying was ditching physical SIMs in 2020. There were rumors. This is something we're not going to know. And then the question is, if they do ditch SIM cards, will they do it everywhere? Because in some countries they won't do it, in some countries they will. But, those are things that you're not going to know until the day of. So they're saying that the rumored screen sizes is 6.1 for the smaller models, and then there's 6.7 for the large models, which is not really that different than what I've got right now. They're just talking about the release date. The only other things that you'd have to wonder about are the prices. Now, from what I've seen, this year is going to be different because we don't know about inflation. Inflation has caused the price of just about everything to go up. Apple might say, oh, yeah, well, you know what? We're going to make it so that we're not going to raise the price. The iPhone 14 will be the $15.99 that you would have paid for the 13 Pro Max, and we'll make it so that the 13 is reduced in price. That would be really cool if they reduce the iPhone 13's price and the iPhone 14's price doesn't go significantly higher. We don't know what the features are going to be. I mean, they may have 1 terabyte of storage. They may have 2. It's possible they could run that phone's price up to $2,000. I don't know. I will say this. If they make an iPhone 14 and it has 2 terabytes worth of storage and it has a $2,000 price tag, I'm going to buy it. And I've got the money. I've got the cash money just ready to go. I'm going to buy it on my Apple Card. I'm going to pay it right off. Possibly I'll save like 3%. And the reason why is because for me, iPhone is everything. It's like I use it to buy and sell my stocks. I use it to track the market during the day because I'm always looking at it. I'm always looking at Apple Watch. I'm always looking at iPad to see what market conditions have changed during the day. I use it even right now. I'm holding it up and I'm using it to make this video right here. Basically, while I'm reading a story, all I do is I do a screen capture and I narrate to the phone. And then from that phone, I just simply upload it to YouTube. Sometimes I'll go through iMovie and I'll put it in iMovie and edit the video. Like I can add things to it if I want. I can add video clips, or I can add little things, or I can take away parts of it. And then I'll go straight to YouTube. The whole process might take me less than an hour. And if you've noticed, during the month of August, I've uploaded almost 40 videos, which I think this might be the 40th if I'm not mistaken. I've uploaded about 40 videos this month, and I'm not done because we still have like 5 or 6 days left in August. And the only way I see that I was able to do that was because iPhone made it possible. And I didn't upload those videos for free. Once those videos are on YouTube, I start earning monetized money on them. Like you see the ads playing. Some of those ads you're clicking on, some of those ads you're not clicking on. I'm getting more and more views. I gained 200 something subscribers for the month of August. I think in the month of July, I had gained over 200 subscribers. In the month of June, I'd gained over 200 subscribers. I'm steadily making my way to 100,000 subscribers thanks to the people who watch and listen to my videos and subscribe to my channel. I am not one of those people who's willing to pay for subs. You know, those bots and stuff. I don't do that. I've gotten emails where they're talking about helping you to build your channel. I ignore them. And there's a really simple reason why, and I don't want to go off tangent. There's a really simple reason I do that. The last thing I want is to have fake subs. I like having real subs because I don't want dead weight on the channel. I don't want, like, when I post polls or I post photos in community chat, I know that I'm posting that stuff to real people. I'm not posting that just for my health. I'm posting that because, like, I want to get reactions and I want to see what people think about certain things. Even this video, I wouldn't be making this video if somebody hadn't suggested I do it in community chat. There's a lot of people who get fake subs. You've seen some of these channels, they got 800,000 subs. They got 700,000 subs. Yet, when they make a video, they can barely get 10,000 views. Or they can barely get 30,000 views. Now, if you've got 800,000 subs, you should easily be passing 100,000 views per video. But that's not happening. Your subs are supposed to see when you go live. Your subs are supposed to see when you post content. And your subs, if they're active, are supposed to support your content simply by watching. Now, I mean, I have a couple of subs who've looked for my Cash App and have sent me money in support. I've had a couple of subs who've, actively shared my content. And the thing about it is I prefer to have active subs. Like, I could have easily went into those emails. I could have easily said, yeah, I'll give you this much money and you can give me 50,000 subs. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. But there's people who do it. There are, as you know, Twitter has an issue with bots where they have people with fake followers. Instagram has fake followers. And I say it just like this. I would rather have 77,000 real people than to have 1 million fake bots. And I just mean that. It's like, I don't want fakes. I prefer to keep the shit real. And that's just how I do it. I just prefer to keep it real. iPhone has allowed me to go live and to show live video. I don't even bother editing the shit because I want to make everything look as real as possible. I want to make it look as live as possible. iPhone has allowed me to, even do things like this, share stories where I can have a high quality image of a news story while I'm talking over it. And I have high quality video. So for me, I want to have a 2 terabyte storage system eventually. It's probably not going to come this year, because one thing I've noticed about iPhone is what they tend to do is every 2 years they'll keep the same overall model, and then in the next generation they'll change it. Like usually, like every single phone they make, they'll usually make 2 phones using the exact same parts for the most part. So chances are iPhone 14 will max out at about 1 terabyte. They could surprise me. They could put 2 in there, but I don't think they're going to. They could, though. So they're also saying that it may come with camera upgrades. They're saying there may be a 48 megapixel camera. I was hearing that there may be an 8K recording system. But the thing about it is, for the purposes of YouTube, I really don't need 8K, especially if it's 8K 30 frames a second. Because on YouTube, for the most part, if you're recording video, those videos are mostly it's not that they're limited to 4K 60 frames per second. It's just that the average person doesn't have the equipment to play 8K. So if you upload 4K, all you're doing is taking up space that you don't really need to be taking up. If you upload video to Facebook, if you upload video to Instagram, 8K camera recording is wasted, because as you know, they reduce your quality of video down to 720p. In fact, most of these videos that I watch on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, these damn videos are less than 720p. But there's also a reason for that. It's because some of these people, they put videos on Discord, and Discord blocks videos that are like less than 8 megabytes or something like that. So as long as your video is less than like 8 megabytes, it'll post. But if not, it'll tell you need to pay money in order to get the Nitro server. So the reality is, most social media, they're trying to make the videos as small as possible and compress them as much as possible. So I don't like if you told me right now, yeah, we're going to have an iPhone that's got a 100 megapixel camera and it takes video at 16K. I don't need that, because I'm a content creator on YouTube and I share my YouTube content elsewhere. I don't need that kind of power. So bottom line is, I mean, if the iPhone 14 has 8K, okay, that's cool. Will I use it? Probably not, especially if it's 8K 30 frames a second. If it's 4K 60, I'll use that. If it's 8K 60, I'll use that. But for the most part, I just don't see that happening right now. I think maybe iPhone 15 or iPhone 16 will be 8K, but they could surprise me. I really don't know. I really, really don't know. Right now, you just don't know. Everything is rumor. The other thing that they were saying was that there's going to be a hole punch camera system. So they're saying they're going to have one is going to look like a small dot camera for the FaceTime. And then they're saying that the other cameras that are necessary for Face ID, that they're going to reduce the size of them so that there's not a notch. To tell you the truth, I've gotten so used to the notch that I really don't even notice it. This hole punch thing actually kind of looks weird to me. But, we'll see what happens when it comes out, because we just don't know. They're saying there's a possibility that there'd be USB-C and that they'll be getting rid of the Lightning port. I don't know if that's going to happen. If it does happen, fine. If it doesn't happen, fine. Most of us, I think, have USB-C in our cars. Most of us now have USB-C fast charging somewhere in our houses. So for the most part, hey, listen, if it comes, I'll take it. If it doesn't, I won't. Those things don't matter to me. For the most part, iPhone, for me, I've only really been using it to make YouTube videos. I use it, obviously, to make vacation videos. I use it, I don't play games on it, honestly. I really don't. Every now and then I'll use it for TV apps like HBO Max and Netflix and whatever. But typically, those apps don't require a very powerful processor anymore. Like, you're really just using them just to cast this stuff to your television. So, it's like this. I, I probably underused the power of the phone. And they're saying that there probably are new colors. It may be, obviously, there's Operation Red because that's a charity for AIDS. There should be a black one. There'll probably be a white or silver, definitely blue, definitely rose gold. Okay, that's all great. They're saying there should be maybe more battery life, Wi-Fi 6. Okay, great. All of that stuff doesn't matter to me. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Chances are it's going to come. The 120 hertz ProMotion display, okay, fine. I'm comfortable using just about any of these displays, especially, Retina display capable phones. I don't really care. It's like, if you give it to me, fantastic. 5G, if you give it to me, fantastic. I will say this. When I was in Dubai airport and I was in the lounge, the internet really wasn't that fast. Now, I don't know if it was because the lounge wasn't fully equipped with 5G, but for the most part, the internet was just about average speed for not only my phone, but my laptop. So you can offer me all this connectivity, but if I don't have it in the area, then it really doesn't matter. MagSafe, the MagSafe charging that iPhone 13 and iPhone 12 have, I'm pretty sure iPhone 14 is going to have that because once they put something like that in, they usually don't go back. So that's good. They're saying it's possibly these things are going to end up having satellite connectivity. I'll believe that when I see it. The only satellite right now that I've really seen that's catching on is SpaceX with their satellite system. And I mean, if you as long as you're not doing anything too intensive, it's pretty good. So if you're getting internet, for the most part, it works just fine. But if you're starting to do like streaming or something, it starts to get wonky. But if you're trying to do video game streaming, chances are that's not going to work out too well. Right now, that's pretty much the end of the rumor. So basically, they're saying a better screen, a better camera, a better display, better lighting for that display, better battery life, and possibly better storage. All of those things, fine and good by me. I'll take what I get. So that's basically it. I mean, right now, there's really not much to go on. After the September 7th announcement, I'll be able to come back and I'll be able to make firm judgments and firm decisions. But for the most part, Apple hasn't disappointed me in a long time. The biggest thing I was waiting for was 1 terabyte of storage. Past that, there's not a whole lot they can really sell me on because the thing about it is, yeah, you can give me better cameras, but I really don't need it. You can give me more storage, but once I got the 1 terabyte, I didn't really need more storage. So, that's just that. So that's where we are. And those are the basic rumors that they've released, which you've probably already heard. I don't know what phone you have. I don't know if you plan on getting an iPhone 14. I know we're going to get an iOS upgrade, but if you have an iOS 13 or iOS 12 or anything up until probably about iOS 11, you'll still be able to update your phone and get the new iOS version. It just won't be as fast as it will on iOS 14 on the iPhone 4. So we'll see what happens. But for me, that's about that. I'll take what I get. At this point, I'm already relatively satisfied. So I'll just take what I get. Whatever comes, I'll buy it. I'm willing to pay up to $2,000 for better. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about the price. I'll just take what I get.